Kimmaytube, I hope all is well with you. I read some of your comments directed towards me, and I did my research, and I actually consulted two people that I hold, very close to me, and they both are in the healthcare industry. Now, out of that 49% of black women who have the whole genital herpes, which is HVS2, right? HVS2, I think that's what it is. Yes, there are women who may have got it from their mother. For those who don't know, you can either get it because of some sort of sexual activity, or it can be passed on. So if your mother had it and she had you, you may, you run the risk of getting it yourself. Now, there's ways around it. If the mother knows she has it, she can get a C-section where they go in and remove the baby. So it doesn't have to go through the whole birth canal and the whole mixing of the blood and all that other good, stuff. So you could prevent it that way. But yes, if your mother has it and she doesn't know and she gives birth to you, you can get it that way. So yes, you can be a virgin, never even looked at a girl or a guy and have it. But my question to you and other people is, out of that 49%, how much do you think, how many women do you think fall under that category of being born with it? How many? Right? In order, most of the time, a woman probably would not have to know that she had it and pass it on. Right? But for one to have the whole genital herpes, HSV2, and not know they had it, okay, you would have to be in almost pristine condition, according to the sources that I talked to. Your immune system and your overall health has to be through the roof. So in regards to, just the general state of health in the black community, how likely is that you are just going to be in tip-top condition to the point where you didn't even know you had it? And even then, you may have flare-ups here and there, right? So to be real with you, unless we're talking about, black mothers that were in pristine condition and passing it on, right? I don't know how far we can go in terms of that line of thinking, right? I think somewhere down the line, she probably may have known, right? And hopefully she had a C-section so she didn't pass it on to her child, right? But in regards to, black mothers passing it on to their daughters, like I said, yes, it's real, but in regards to how much that makes up of the 49%, I don't even know. I can't even, let's not act as if that's what's going on for everybody, right? And even if it is, it still highlights my point of this down low behavior with black women. Okay, the sins of the mother will show up in the daughter, just like the sins of the father will show up in the son. Okay, I'm young, but if you talk to a black man who's 35 up to 50, he'll tell you, yeah, in his day too, a lot of women were doing what they weren't supposed to in the underground, right? But act as if they're holier than holy, right? So to me, the behavior is still there. You don't go from 0% to 49% or whatever it truly is, overnight. It's some time. So once again, I'm trying to point out to the underlying behavior. But let's just assume that, okay, let's account, or at least let's try to, theoretically account for the black women who got it because they were born with it. Okay? Is it 50% of them? Let's take away 9%. Let's say 9% of that 49%, 9 or 10% got it because their mother had it. Okay? Now, that still leaves us with 40%. Right? Doesn't that still leave us with 40%? Isn't that still significant? I see what you're trying to do. I know. I understand that the 49% we can, break it, we can chop it down, and, take this out, factor this in, factor that in. But there's still a problem. And like I said before, she may have not gotten the whole genital herpes thing directly, okay, but her mother passed it to her. Why? The mother was doing what she wasn't supposed to be doing. But yes, there were probably women who, did everything right and they still got it. Maybe their husband cheated on them or they were lied to or manipulated. Yeah, I take all that into consideration. And like I said, once we're done chopping off the exceptions to the rule, honestly, that 49% may go down to, let's say, 30, but that's still a cause for alarm, right? It's still a growing trend. And we have to get at the deeper root of the issue. So once again, people need not to be so concerned with the actual 49%, but be more concerned with the behavior that is being exposed. Okay, the whole behavior that's being exposed. And yes, I am sorry for all the women, who did get it because their mothers had it. But once again, you talk to the black men who are 35 above, and they'll tell you what a lot of black women were doing. So it's the same behavior. Unfortunately, they are the byproducts of that negative behavior. Just like in a couple of years, there's going to be a whole bunch of women, okay, if they don't know they have it, who will be contributing to that number. And once again, it's important to know if you have it, because you can possibly prevent it from being spread to your child if you have a C-section, as opposed to having the birth and having the blood mixing. But even then, like I said, to not know you have it is very rare, because you will get flare-ups here and there, okay? And even then, your immune system and your health has to be on point. It has to almost be in a pristine type of condition. But as we all know, the whole state of health in the black community isn't necessarily on the up and up. So, I hear what you're trying to say. I'm not trying to judge anybody. Okay, I'm really not trying to judge or, put other people down. But once again, there is a bigger issue, okay, that is bigger than the 49% that I'm trying to bring out. And a lot of people are focused on the 49%. And yeah, we can sit here and chop off 49% and say, oh, take off 10%, take up 5%, take off 2%. And what we're left with will still be, a situation where we have to be alarmed and wake up, okay, and understand what's going on. And highlight the negative behavior, right? I'm not some, person that's trying to start up a war or, blame one side or blame the other. I'm trying to uncover bad behavior. To me, this is learned behavior, okay? And if we uncover and identify the learned behavior, we can fix it. It's not biological. Okay, black people don't act in negative ways just because that's how we are. Most of the time, it's taught to us or it's never corrected. So the first part of fixing a problem is to identify that there is a problem and bring it to light. We've already talked about the whole idea of down low black men and what that can do to the black community, right? So now we need to talk about down low black women. Yeah, it may not be the whole idea of having homosexual sexual activity, but it's still the whole idea of down low, underground, secret, hidden behavior where the women are lying to themselves in regards to what they're actually doing. And that whole denial, that whole lying of what's going on behind closed doors is causing the problem. So it may not be 49% now, but in the future, it will, it possibly might get there if we don't address things now. Because it's not looking like the trend is going to end. It looks like the trend will increase. A trend can either be increasing or decreasing. And I think we can all say that whatever the actual number is, it is a trend that will increase in the near future in regards to everything else that's going on in the black community. So you take it easy. Tell me how you feel. Everybody else, chime in. Peace out. God bless.